In the headlines, 3 killed as police repel attack on INEC office in Imo. Director General of PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Aminu Tambuwal, meets autumn as PDP works to persuade aggrieved governors. Zamfara PDP decries indiscriminate arrest of members as government denies claims. And on the foreign scene, Iran carries out second execution linked to anti-regime protests. Hello and welcome to Trust News Updates. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And we'll begin with security, where 4 persons, including 1 policeman, have been killed in an attack that was repelled by the police on the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission along Port Harcourt Road in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on Monday morning. Spokesperson for the Imo State Police Command, Mike Abatam, said the gunmen, numbering 10, came around 3 a.m. with patrol bombs and dynamite. He, however, said the hoodlums were confronted by security operatives who repelled the attack and killed 3 of the attackers. Abatam also said 1 of the attackers was arrested by the police and 3 vehicles used by hoodlums recovered. Some parts of the building on the INEC premises were razed. The attacks on INEC offices nationwide have become disturbing as the 2023 elections draw nearer. Before Monday's attack, 2 other attacks have been recorded in Imo, in the Oru West local government area and in the Orlu local government area. We now speak to Daily Trust reporter in Imo State, Jude Agugwo Onwamanam, who gives an update on the situation.
Gunmen numbering about 10 stormed the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission along the popular Port Harcourt Road Expressway, and their tactic, we were made to understand that the attack occurred around 2 a.m. this morning, and a quick response from the police came in before major damage could be done. 3 of the hoodlums were killed instantly. 2 others were arrested alive, and then the others ran away, and the police said they are on trail of the fleeing hoodlums. Yes, one of the early callers, the office of the commission, was the governor himself. He came here to assess the situation. The officers of the commission are right now taking inventory of the offices to see what were left. They make to understand that some offices were attacked, files were attacked, and that the accounts and most of the offices were burnt. So right now, the commission officers are saying that they are taking inventory and trying to, find out what they are missing and what extent the hoodlums were able to destroy some of the commission's equipment. Well, the incident occurred early in the morning when the residents were still sleeping. Majorly, the place is a commercial area. The central bank is just close by, and opposite is the state secretariat. So it's not quite a residential area. So, but early riders who went along that road were amazed at the carnage. So right now, people are surging in to see what has happened, but the police are trying to keep them away from the accident scenes, so as not to tamper with the evidence they want to gather.
Similarly, Independent National Electoral Commission has given assurances to residents of Katsina State that it will conduct elections in all the 34 local government areas of the state. The assurance is coming against the backdrop of fears that election may not hold in local government areas prone to persistent bandits attacks. Abdullahi Ahmadi completes the report.
The electoral umpire allays fears that elections may not hold in some wards in Katsina State due to insecurity, saying the rumor has no basis. The electoral umpire, however, assures stakeholders that in the event of worsening insecurity in some communities, INEC will relocate the affected polling units to safer places to allow eligible voters exercise their franchise.
Let me also take the opportunity to bring an update as to what we are doing in some of the areas in which we are facing some security challenge. The Electoral Act 2022 again has made clear provisions for the conduct of election in emergency situations. In specific terms, Section 24 of the Electoral Act 2022 provides for the Commission to, as far as is practicable, ensure that no persons displayed as a result of an emergency are disenfranchised.
On the collection of permanent voters' cards, which is expected to commence on Monday, the resident electoral commissioner Yahya Makarfi charged eligible voters to collect their PVCs immediately. The resident electoral commissioner said INEC offices will remain opened for the collection exercise across the 34 local government areas of Katsina State.
The collection of voters' cards will commence on the 12th of this month, and it will end on the 22nd of January 2023.
Many residents have been asking questions about the possibility or otherwise of conducting elections in security frontline local governments of Katsina State. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Still on security, terrorists on Sunday killed 4 traders in the Jibia local government area of Katsina State. Reports say the traders, who were from Zandam village, were going to a market close to the local government headquarters when they ran into the terrorists. The spokesman for the Katsina State Police Command, SP Gambo Isa, confirmed the incident. He revealed that the terrorists shot 5 traders adding that 4 died on the spot. Residents added that the incident caused fear among other traders already in the market. Earlier, the Katsina State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Gambo Isa, gives us an update on the latest attack.
It was somewhere around Zandam area yesterday in the morning around 11 o'clock when the DPO reported that terrorists in their numbers blocked a PIDA road along that axis and opened fire on some traders that were going to Jibia market. You know, yesterday, being Sunday, it is a market day for Jibia. They shot at 5 of these marketers, businessmen, killed 4 of them. 1 sustained a fatal, serious gun injury and was rushed to the hospital. That was actually what happened. The DPO mobilized all the tactical assets around him, including the military. But before they reach that Zandam area, I told you, is an outskirts of the town of Jibia local government area. In fact, around the fringes of the forest.
Moving on to politics, Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom on Sunday received his counterpart from Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, in Makurdi. The meeting was part of moves to resolve the internal crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party. Ortom said they discussed many issues, including the division in the PDP, the G5, which he's a member, and how they can team up and work together as a party. He commended Tambuwal for the visit and expressed optimism that the crisis will soon be resolved if the group heed his advice. Tambuwal, on his part, described the move to resolve the crisis in the party as a work in progress. He said they have met several times but are working to bring everybody together to work for the party. He further said that he will engage with the rest of his colleagues and leaders to see how best they can come back together as one family and work towards making sure that the PDP comes out stronger and win the election of 2023. The Zamfara State chapter of the People's Democratic Party is accusing the state government of connivance with the state police command to arrest and illegally detain two of its chieftains, Ambassador Maidiga Marafa and Ikira Bilbis, senatorial candidate of the PDP Zamfara Central, in prison. The PDP claimed that the court has refused to grant the two chieftains of their party bail despite efforts to secure their release. The report.
Party PDP is calling on President Muhammadu Buhari and Inspector General of Police IGP Alkali Baba to intervene in what it described as illegal arrest and detention of two of the party chieftains in prison by the state government in connivance with the police. The acting chairman of the PDP claimed that the party had written to the European Union, Human Rights Commission, Department of State Services (DSS), National Security Advisor Major General Babagana Munguno over the harassment and intimidation of its members in Zamfara State, but nothing has been done regarding its complaint. He said democracy is being threatened in Zamfara State, northwest Nigeria, hence the Inspector General of Police, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), should take proactive steps to rescue the situation in the state before the 2023 general elections.
We have written specifically to the DSS, we have written to the police, we have written to the Office of the Civil Defense, we have written to the National Security Advisor, we have taken our protest to the European Union, we have taken our protest to the American Embassy, including Human Rights, Amnesty International. We are still waiting, nothing has been done.
The party appealed to all members and supporters to continue to remain law-abiding as efforts are being made to secure the release of their chieftains in prison and protect members from harassment and intimidation from the ruling All Progressive Congress APC in the state. The Zamfara State Police Command, however, declined to comment on the allegation leveled against them by the PDP of conniving with the state government to arrest its members unlawfully in the state.
Meanwhile, Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle has debunked the claim by the People's Democratic Party that the state government has connived with the police to arrest two chieftains of the party, sending them to prison without any concrete reason. He said anyone that has been arrested must have done something against the law, advising the party to ask the police why its chieftains in the state were arrested. The Zamfara State Governor said he is not a police or military officer, but a governor of a state, and he therefore does not have the power to arrest anybody.
Well, you know, the committee has already inaugurated. Now, it is a local committee that was inaugurated today and given their appointment letters by His Excellency, the former governor of Zamfara State, Dr. Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar. In fact, I'm just here just to witness what has been done, and I saw the work that they have done within a limited time, which is well commendable for the job well done that they have done. And I charge them to be well vigilant, because this politics is not something of do or die. We should make sure that we do everything according to the law of the land. I'm a governor. I cannot arrest anybody. If anyone arrested, that means maybe they have done something against the law. So they should go to police or wherever their people were arrested and ask them, not the governor. I'm an executive governor of the state, not a commissioner of police of the state.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. How Osun residents change food preferences due to rising prices. Do stay with us.
The FCT administration strongly joins its voice to condemn in its entirety the nefarious activities of killer code groups existing in our communities and schools, which runs contrary to social norms and values, especially the wanton attacks and most times killings of innocent citizens and destabilizing public peace, as well as destruction of property. This is why the FCT administration is appealing to parents, guardians, community and religious leaders to join the FCT authority to eradicate cultism and bullying out of our communities and schools, especially in the Federal Capital Territory. Anyone caught in this unwholesome, barbaric and uncivilized act will be dealt with in accordance with the law. The FCT administration, under the leadership and watch of the Honorable Ministers, will not allow cultism and bullying in the territory. To be forewarned is to be forearmed.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Trust News Update. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. You heard that 3 killed as police repel attack on INEC office in Imo. You also heard that Director General of PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Aminu Tambuwal, meets autumn as PDP works to persuade aggrieved governors. Moving to other news, a tanker exploded in Ogun State on Sunday, killing 1 person and injuring another along the Shagam-Ijebode Expressway. Federal Road Safety Corps spokeswoman Florence Okpe said the accident involved the tanker and 2 men. According to Okpe, the injured victim had been taken away by a Good Samaritan before the arrival of FRSC operatives. She said the suspected cause of the lone crash was mechanical deficiency, which resulted in a fire outbreak. She quoted the sector commander, Umar Ahmed, to have sympathized with the families of the accident victims while advising motorists to always carry out vehicle routine checks for safety purposes. The current inflation ravaging the country is continually taking its toll on Nigeria and causing aggravated poverty in the country. The insecurity in the country compounds the situation, leading to high cost of living and citizens' inability to feed properly. In Osun State, many residents have stopped buying fish or meat and have resorted to animal skin, popularly known as bomo. Hamid Oyegbade reports.
The price of foodstuff in the market have continued to skyrocket, with both sellers and buyers complaining bitterly. Many attributed this to inflation. Most of the food consumed by Nigerians, including rice, fish, and vegetable oil, are mostly imported. Local farmers were incapacitated due to activities of bandits in the northern parts of the country, which led to insufficient locally produced food. Traders at Akindeko Market in Osogbo, Osun State, said the price of foodstuff has gone up, resulting to low patronage by consumers.
A bundle of airy fish is now between 28,000 naira and 29,000 naira. A bundle of mackerel fish that was 12,000 naira some years ago is now 55,000 naira. Prices of items have multiplied by 3 to 4 times. It's beyond expectations. We only need God's intervention. Prices of foodstuff have gone up. A bag of rice suddenly jumped from 32,000 naira to 42,000 naira. We are not making sales because people could not afford it. It is really affecting the business adversely. Government should help us to address the problem. Most people cannot afford fish nowadays. 1,000 naira fish is very small. Meanwhile, father, mother, children manage themselves with 200 naira or more. We beg government to make things easy for citizens.
Kainde Popola and Ajagbe Bolaji said their new strategy is to only feed once or at most twice in a day.
It's not necessary to eat rice every day. It's not necessary to eat bread every day. If I get yam, I will take it as a food. So that is advice for the people.
Everybody knows the country we are. So you just have to manage yourself. At least the 3 daily meals that you're supposed to take, at least if you can take 2, maybe morning and the night.
The residents called on government to address inflation to make life bearable for them. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
The right to express one's feelings on issues comes with restrictions which affect individual freedom of speech. These restrictions, which are sometimes enshrined in legal documents, are meant to check excesses among people. Correspondent Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report on the observance of freedom of speech by Nigerians. The report.
Freedom of speech is the right to speak, write, and share ideas and opinions without facing punishment from government or anyone who is at the receiving end of the speech. The legal practitioner, Christian Okonkwo, while giving an insight on freedom of speech, described it as a fundamental human right that has limitations.
Is a fundamental human right. In fact, the right is wider than what we expect because it even contains in people's and staff rights. But what happens is that right, there's limitations. When every right you have as an individual can be curtailed.
He maintained that it is the responsibility of all citizens to express their views on what is happening in society.
It is only when you are being imprisoned, you are being detained, you have committed an offense, you are being detained for the police or anywhere, or maybe the prison custody, that can be, you have a limitation to freedom of speech. But in practice, it's not that way.
The legal practitioner declared the attitude of some citizens who take advantage of social media to abuse freedom of speech by expressing views that are capable of causing damage to individuals or even breaching the peace, adding that it is justifiable for security agencies to effect the arrest and prosecution of such individuals. For many, more needs to be done in the area of enlightenment for the public to be more aware of the freedom guaranteed them so that they can make meaningful contributions on issues affecting the country.
Leaders of civil society organizations need to do more in terms of orientations, in terms of sensitization, in terms of creating awareness to the citizens first, because there are people who certainly they are suffering due to one thing or the other, but to express them, that fear is there. So by the time the more awareness is done to remove the fear in their minds, they'll come up to express their views in a peaceful manner.
He said security agencies and judiciary should also ensure that citizens are allowed to express their views to enable them feel a sense of freedom.
On the international scene, Iran on Monday hanged a man in public who had been convicted of killing 2 members of security forces. According to the judiciary, this is the second execution linked to anti-government protests in less than a week. Iran's hanging of another man, Mohsen Shekari, on Thursday, convicted of injuring a security guard with a knife and blocking a street in Tehran, have been widely condemned by the United States and its allies. Rights groups have said Shekari was tortured and forced to confess. Amnesty International has said Iranian authorities are seeking the death penalty for at least 21 people in what it called sham trials designed to intimidate those participating in the popular uprising that has rocked Iran. Nationwide protests erupted following the death of a 22-year-old Kurdish Iranian woman, Masha Amini, on September 16. And finally, in sports, viewing centers generate money for the operators in the media and entertainment industry in Nigeria. There are high expectations that with the ongoing World Cup, viewing centers' revenue will be high. However, Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail observes that some viewing centers record low patronage during the World Cup, contrary to the period when leagues are open. The report.
Apart from revenue generation, a typical viewing center in Nigeria is platform for debate and interaction between diverse groups of football fans with different opinions. However, there is very low patronage at most viewing centers in Gombe, despite the ongoing 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar.
The owners of these viewing centers knew that World Cup is not a period where they will make a lot of money, unlike the Premier League, Champions League, and other leagues around the world that is being watched around the world. So they knew. So it's something that they might have prepared for, knowing that we will not make a lot of money. So they might have planned towards minimizing their expectation during the period. So I don't think it will really affect them. But in the recent sense, it affects their revenue because most of them, that is where they depend on. And I don't think it has anything to do with Nigeria not participating in the World Cup, because even if Nigeria is participating, you will still see less people going to watch the football, because we Nigerians tend to kind of have kind of support the country, the national team, the Super Eagles, the way it should. So getting that people to go to viewing center to go and watch Super Eagles is also something else.
We visit 2 viewing centers in Tufre within the Gombe state capital, but all are locked. We were told that operator of this center has gone out to do another job. We speak to football fans on their preferred viewing location between watching the tournament at home and viewing centers.
As I said earlier, I adopted this thing, following the live scores. No, I just prefer the method. Yeah, it's safe and it's, even when it comes to cost, they don't cost more. But if you are going to viewing center, but if this thing commercial TV station are showing it, I would have preferred watching it at home with my family than going out.
I watch the World Cup at home.
I do watch the World Cup at the viewing center. I love to see people arguing, and at the viewing center, I love to see people arguing at the mat.
And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.